You guys are probably amazed by my philosophy on motorcycles, and probably are amazed by my intelligence or my education level, especially how fast my bike goes, and um, how amazing I am when I race people. Like a street Rossi. Yeah, I don't like to see myself as a street Rossi, whatever these people call this stuff, but I know I've gotten a lot of praise and kind comments from you all about what kind of a street Rossi I am and how fast I am and all that stuff. Please try to control yourself, okay? Um, because everybody loved my philosophy on motorcycles, I thought I'd do another uh, video on motorcycle philosophy. And there are books on it, like that motorcycle and the art of Zen. I think it was Motorcycle Mechanics and the Art of Zen or whatever. Um, I've studied Zen. As a matter of fact, I happen to be there was a period in my life where I did study Buddhism and stuff, and it's one of the most fascinating aspects of religion. But it was through more of martial arts, and I've delved into the religious aspects of Buddhism also. I do have family members that are Buddhist, but I personally am Presbyterian, so um, I tend to be what they call a rugged individualist, or of what they call the Calvinist mentality also. But going back to my motorcycle philosophy, I know a lot of you share this, but share this oneness, this oneness everybody has with their community and other people who ride bikes, and that oneness. Let me write it down. That word right there, oneness. Oneness. It goes back to Greek. It goes back to religion and what they call e pluribus. The term is e pluribus, and that's in one we believe, or God. That's what oneness is. It's what they call the blackness of Buddhism. It is where the state of mind reaches a pinnacle, or the apex of nothing. So by starting out somewhere and thinking about that oneness, you end up in that blackness of nothing. And that is in Buddhism called nothingness. One way to achieve it is one way to achieve that darkness or that blackness is meditation. And there are a lot of people who are pretty good at meditation, so I won't go into that. But when you I guess look into martial arts and stuff, like, I encourage you to look into this stuff because it's some wild stuff. It's called the nothingness or the darkness of meditation. And in your spiritual quest or spiritual journey through meditation, you will reach a point where um, the reality or the the state of mind becomes so mature and so strong that you reach what they call a state of nothingness. That's oneness. Okay. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but motorcycles are about oneness. It brings, I mean, I made a video about how, do motorcycles bring out the stupid in people? I don't think so. I think motorcycles bring together both the stupid and the smart. It's a oneness. You can laugh about it. You can laugh about it if you want. Hey, I laugh about it. I laugh at things. But when you bring together, so basically, these videos that I watch or these people that I see, talking about the philosophy of motorcycles, realize that it brings together both stupid people and, smart people. It's not judgmental. It's not something that's judgmental. I mean, it's like Another example of this oneness is when you're going like 200 miles an hour. Now, um, yeah, I go 200 miles an hour probably every day, but that oneness is that point where you're going 200 miles and you can't slow down. It's that sensation that you get, or that feeling when you get when you can't slow down. It's like you're flying, you know, and you don't know where you're flying into or what you're going to fly into. That's called oneness, okay? That's oneness right there. It is the same sensation that people describe when they're in a hospital. Whew, boy, I could have died. Damn, I was going so fast, I could have died. But I reached that oneness, you see? So when you're going 200 miles an hour and you don't know what you're going to hit or how to stop, you've achieved oneness. You've achieved that darkness. You've achieved that state of mind, or the pinnacle of what they call the state of reality. Okay. So that oneness is what I'm trying to point out to. It's an important concept in religion also. And it deals with death. It deals with life. It deals with death. It deals with a lot of things. Primarily, what amount of your brain are you using? When you talk about oneness, it's not about stupidity or intelligence. But when you talk about nothingness, it's about your state of mind and how much brain power you exert into the concept of oneness. Does that make any sense? Now, these are very difficult topics in religion, you know. Um, Unfortunately, the Christian religion doesn't really delve into the philosophy. But if you want to get into the philosophy, probably the best, or the most, I guess, most renowned would be Heidegger. Um, Heidegger and Kierkegaard were two religious philosophers out there during the same period that I speak of. They had what they call the Copernican Revolution, or the Copernican School of Philosophy. Mostly Dutch, German, Kant, Hegel, those guys. That was the Copernican Revolution, but specifically, Kant, Hegel, and the German philosophers, what they did was they tried to respond to the cosmology of the Dutch thinkers, and also the earlier European philosophers, such as Kierkegaard, such as Heidegger. So if you're into religion, you're not going to understand it. I'm going to tell you that right now, because for one end, like Kierkegaard, he describes I think it's called Heidegger. It's like the state of being a Christian, or the ultimate Christian, and he describes what this what did I just say? Hi, the state of being the ultimate Christian, or what? Go look into it. I can't remember. I read this stuff back when I was in my 20s and stuff. But if you want to look into the oneness or the philosophy of motorcycles, um, Kierkegaard, Heidegger might be something you find. I personally don't think you're going to understand it. I personally don't think that you're going to be able to understand what cosmology is. Um, Cosmology is basically two worlds, and cosmology is the bridge between two worlds. It's like the third eye of your brain or your mind. So, like I said, this oneness that brings together people, um, smart and stupid, is basically the philosophy of motorcycles. And to achieve that oneness, you have to go about 200 miles an hour and then feel what that oneness is, because you don't know what you're about to hit, and you don't know what you're about to run into. So, it's not about being stupid or smart. It's about coming together. I think that's what that concept is all about. I know a lot of people have given me a lot of kind comments and stuff like that. But you just shrug it off, and I mean, they do their own thing, I do my own thing. But yeah, I run 87 gas. I ride a bike that's 20 something years old. I mean, going 200 miles an hour is like, piece of cake. Come on, guys. Use your brain, man. All right, take it easy.